Hey, so you're thinking about moving to Rancho Cordova? Guess what? You're in the right spot. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mike Friedrich. I'm with the Friedrich team here at eXp Realty and the YouTube channel Living in Sacramento. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button right here below. And also hit the alert button so that you will be one of the first people to be notified about anything new going on when considering moving to the Sacramento area. So again, thanks for tuning in. Today we are going to do a map tour of Rancho Cordova, and we're going to go over where it is in proximity to Sacramento and the neighboring neighborhoods and towns. And then we'll also cover a few restaurants. We'll cover some activities, some business stuff that's going on in the area, as well as the schools. And then we'll touch a little bit on the housing market at the very end. Thank you so much again, and let's dive right in. And if you have any questions, we get questions from people like you and you and you all the time with DMs, emails, phone calls, you name it. Just go ahead and send us those questions. Our team is happy to answer all those questions because we want to make it as smooth as possible for you to get your questions answered rather when you're considering moving to the Sacramento area. Okay, let's dive right in. I have the map up here right now, and you can see there is Rancho Cordova smack in the middle. And if you're looking at its proximity to the Sacramento area or Sacramento downtown, it's really just a quick 20 minutes up the drive, I-50 or Highway 50, I should say. And along the ways, we've done already some videos that you may have seen. We've done one on East Sacramento. Renee's done a vlog tour of La Riviera. And then you're right here smack in the middle in Rancho Cordova. For you, just a few stats about Rancho Cordova. I have it pulled up right here. Rancho Cordova has just about 80,000 residents, and was incorporated actually from Sacramento County in 2003 and became its own city. It's part of the Sacramento metropolitan area, of course. And actually, if you can see the difference in about 10 years between the 2010 census and the 2020 census, they added more than 15,000 residents to the neighborhood. And the cool thing about that is since we are already on how to add people to the neighborhood, and we're going to go into the Mesa Airport here in a little bit. If you can see right here on the southern part here, let me scroll out a little bit. So actually most of the construction actually happens down here. The oldest community of the new construction, let me be done here and see if I can scroll in. And there's always a little bit of lag time, unfortunately. So if we scroll over here, we have a neighborhood called Anatolia, which is right here in Cavala Ranch, and here you see Anatolia. And then the newest construction area is right over here on the east side, right here. And then you see there's a lot of room for more growth for Rancho Cordova. The cool thing about this, if we zoom back out again, and really I do apologize that there's always this lag time, there's the new connector that is being built and is supposed to alleviate some of the heavy congestion here along Highway 50, and it's called the East Corridor, if I'm not mistaken, and it starts actually up in Folsom. And so where is it? I would say right around here. And then you come down White Rock and they just widened it. So some parts of this area are actually 2 lanes in each direction, and then White Rock becomes Grant Line Road, and that will take you down past past Highway 16. That's where Highway 16, and then it will connect to Highway 99. So you don't, this is typically a very congested area, and this is a very congested area, especially during the rush hour times. So having this back corridor here, that gives you an alternative, and it also helps obviously with people moving in and out of the communities, not having to take the major highway and freeway system. And the cool thing about that also is, which I'm going to bring up here real quick. So when we go back here, I'm on the City of Rancho Cordova website. This is a typical event in Rancho Cordova. I think they have a motto, if I City Life Reinvented. Oh, and that is a pretty cool depiction of where Rancho Cordova is. So you have the city and Sacramento County right here. You have the little red dot. This is in relation where it is in Northern California. So just northeast of San Francisco, and then here's Sacramento County, of course, and then Rancho Cordova is pretty much smack in the middle, unless you count this little, it almost looks like a reverse boot, like Italy. Anyways, completely sidetracking here again. But so Rancho Cordova has actually, like I said, 80,000 people, roughly, give or take, living there, but they have also a very strong workforce of about 65,000 people, and they're being serviced with 3 school districts and some higher education, and there's some developments in the makes where they would create bigger campuses for more higher education as well. And now I wanted to go back on one more thing actually here, if we talk about, so here we talk about the 65,000 plus people in the workforce, and then the learning part we talked about, and then they have a really nice art community. Rancho Cordova, as we had pointed out in our previous not map tour, but the vlog, that has about 26 miles of the American bike and pedestrian trails, part of the American River Trail, 70 serene acres of creeks, channels, tributaries, and a lot of activities, really, a lot of cultural activities. So now going back to the map and the overview, we are seeing here, if I move in a little bit, you see Mather here, smack in the middle. That's its own community. Does not share a zip code with Rancho Cordova, but oftentimes when people talk about Rancho Cordova, they forget about Mather. And it gets its name from Mather Airport, which is right to the north of it. And we talked about in our pros and cons for Rancho Cordova that there is Mather Airport. The cool thing about Mather Airport is, like we also pointed out, there's the California Air Show that happens once a year. And for flying enthusiasts, it's a must-see event, and it's phenomenal. And even if you don't live in the area, if you're living in the surrounding areas like Folsom or even El Dorado Hills, you can definitely see in downtown Sacramento and Elk Grove to the south. You can definitely see when the planes are doing their loops and things like that. It's pretty impressive. I once actually showed homes during the air show, and the fighter jets were flying so low, and it happened to be that I was showing it in Rancho Cordova, and there was absolutely no way of having a conversation when those fighter jets were flying over you. But so again, the California Air Show happening once a year, and then, like I said, this is a really nice community right here. Mather, a little bit older. I mean older, so I would say not within the last 5 years, 10 years, so a little bit older, a little bit more established. A few things to point out here. Zinfandel Village really has shown a few areas in there. And then as we go up here, then we have, of course, a Costco here. And then along the 50 corridor here, that's where you can see a lot of the business buildings and office buildings, and we talked also about the industrial part, and that part is over here on the west side rather of Sunrise Boulevard, which also will take you down. You see Grand Line coming in that I talked about earlier on the right, which is that widened expressway. I don't want to call it expressway per se, but just a faster way with more lanes. And then you have the traditional road, Sunrise Boulevard, that meets up with Grand Line. And then again, this will take you all the way to Highway 99 and subsequently over to Highway 5 or Interstate 5 on your way down through the Central Valley all the way down to LA, actually, right here. Depending on how fast you drive, that's about, until you get to the Grapevine, it's probably about 4.5 hours. And then the next 10 hours will get you through Los Angeles. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to take you that long, but it's getting congested at the Grapevine. Anyways, I'm getting way off subject again. So what else can I tell you? The school districts, we talked about it on the other video. We have really 3 school districts. We have Folsom-Cordova Unified School District, we have Elk Grove School District, and then there is parts of it that fold into the Sacramento School District as well, which is an area actually to the west. And if I go back out here and scroll out, there's Rosemont right here on the left. So there's some areas that bleed in where you have the Sacramento School District as well. And then we said the higher education, of course. And then I had also promised you that we would talk about the proximity to some of the neighboring communities and cities. We've done a piece on Sacramento. We already talked about La Rive. We will be doing a piece on Fair Oaks. And you may have seen the video on El Dorado Hills, Folsom. Up to the north is Rockland and Roseville. So if you're familiar with the channel, you've probably seen all those videos already. And then one of our favorite outdoor activities, like we mentioned in some of the other videos as well, is right here, Lake Natoma, which is technically not in Rancho Cordova, because right here where the dam is, you're starting Folsom over here on the right hand side, on the east side of things. And that's really calm waters, no motors allowed on this lake, and you have opportunity to just swim if you're into that. You can do water sports just like windsurfing, or we've done some paddle boarding. Just keep in mind, even throughout the year, the water is pretty cold because the water comes out of Folsom Lake and it comes out at the bottom of the dam, so it comes out of the bottom of Folsom Lake, which typically doesn't heat up that much. Let's move into the last portion, the housing market. I have pulled up some stats as of right now. So right now we have 122 homes active, and you can also, because you won't have access to this part, this is our multiple listing service, but you can always go to our website at thefriedrichteam.com and go under communities and pull up Rancho Cordova. So that pulls from the MLS, so you see the data is the same, 122 actives. And here on our website, it just gives you a quick overview, 122 actives, about 50 days average on market. That is for the active listings. And it's a little bit more affordable, actually, believe it or not, than Placerville. I just did a map tour for Placerville, and the average price per square foot in Placerville was closer to $385 a square foot, and here we are looking at $300 a square foot, which, let me talk about price per square foot really quick. It's almost like talking about the average temperature for the US. It doesn't mean a whole lot. It gives you a general idea, but for instance, the average price per square foot here is $301 and the median price is $573. And I just did a piece on Placerville and the map tour, and I pulled up the same numbers, and the average price per square foot was $385, but the median price was just under $555. So you see, it's not that great of a comparison, but it will give you a better idea, and we can go over this when you have questions. Call me, email me, text me, or Renee, of course, or anybody on the team that will explain to you that the price per square foot is really a good way to look at things when you're comparing similar size homes. So let's say a 1,000 square foot home to another 1,000 square foot home. price per square foot, or even 1,500. So if you're looking at sizes, 1,000 square foot to 1,500 square feet, the price per square foot should be a good indicator there. And the price per square foot then gives you a good indication also on the different areas within a metropolitan area, on where it's a little bit higher priced than on. But this definitely indicates that there is a lower price point in Rancho Cordova, and we have in fact seen that, and that's why we call that also pretty affordable. If you're going back to the MLS though, I have it highlighted. So if you look at the closed numbers, the least expensive home that you could buy, or in this case this was probably a condo, in the last 30 days was $271,000, and then we have the average is about $580, and then the median is $575. So that's, if you compare the two again, it's $575 for sold versus $573 for list price. So that gives you an indication that it's not all doom and gloom when they talk about prices dropping, because we can still see, at least based on the last 30 days, that the median price is pretty close to the median price of the list price, the median close price, of course, that is. If you ever want a comparison or like a copy of the statistics for any area in the neighborhood or in the Sacramento area, just feel free to reach out. That's what we're here for. We're compiling this data for you, so you have all the information and the facts that you need to make a good choice on where to live or whether to move out to the Sacramento area or not. I hope this was helpful to you. And with that, we want to say goodbye. And again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe below and hit that alert button so that anything new that's coming up, you'll be alerted and find out first. All right, with that, I would like to thank you for tuning in one more time. Make sure that you watch all the other videos on Rancho Cordova. We did a vlog tour, we did the pros and cons, and now here the map tour. And then if you have any questions, make sure that you reach out to us via email, text, phone, Zoom, whichever is the easiest for you. Our team, like I said earlier, loves answering those questions. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that alert button so you'll be the first one to know about anything new going on in the Sacramento area. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.